Hey crew, it's Pitt, and I'm back with today's Timeless Tarot for August the 7th of 2025. This is, however, a timeless reading, and so whenever you find it is when it was meant to find you. We will be pulling 8 cards from the feminine deck, 8 cards from the masculine deck, in accordance with the 8 human chakras, so that we can best understand how to manifest our highest timeline in accordance with spirit. I have already done a pre-shuffle on the cards, but I like to get 2 more real quick just to make sure everything is exactly where it needs to be. And now we will begin pulling with the base. And in the base, we have the 9 of Pentacles. In the sacral, we have the 4 of Swords. In the solar plexus, we have the 5 of Wands. In the heart, we have the Page of Wands. In the throat, we have the 2 of Wands. In the third eye, we have the 2 of Pentacles. And in the crown, we have the Fool in reverse. And then rounding out our message from the Divine Feminine, on the bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Pentacles. Next, we'll be pulling a card from the masculine deck. The feminine deck, the cards that are already on the table, tell us what the current situation, the current energies are. And the masculine deck lets us know what actions, positive steps that we can take to help manifest our highest timeline in accordance with spirit. And so we begin pulling with the crown. And in the crown, we have the 8 of Cups. In the third eye, we have the 6 of Swords in reverse. In the throat, we have Strength. In the heart, we have Justice in reverse. In the solar plexus, we have the Queen of Cups in reverse. In the sacral, we have the Lovers. In the base, we have the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. And rounding out the message from the bottom of the deck, from the Divine Masculine, we have the Sun in reverse. Alright, let's dive in and see what the cards are telling us today. We begin in the base because that is base existence. Do you have a home? Do you have a job? Do you have food? Do you have money? All of that is base provision. In addition to that, this area governs love and wrath. Do you give away too much affection? Are you not receiving the affection that you feel like you deserve? Neither one are particularly good in and of themselves. We're looking at a lot of Pentacles energy in your base. Pentacles are the same energy as the base. Do you have a home? Do you have a job? Do you have food? Do you have money? All of those are the provisions, right? And provisions is base existence. It is body. It is the things for your body. It is sensing and all of the things dealing with that. And what you have today, this is the 9 of Pentacles. 9 is going to be about a choice of a higher path. The Ace of Pentacles is being presented with a higher path, and that is the message from the Divine for you. We will get to that much later, but this is you being presented with a choice about a higher path. This is after the culmination of the first path with, and it's funny because your clarifier is the 8 of Pentacles. So with the 7, you receive the harvest from the first path. And the first path of Pentacles is just having a job, being able to provide for yourself, being able to do for yourself. That is the first path of mastery for the body. Right? And then it comes to the point where it's generational provision, stepping into positions of authority at work. Right? The 7 is the harvest. It ends all of the previous path. And then with an 8, you've got a new path being presented to you. And then with the 9, you have to make a choice about that path. This is you being presented with a path of higher opportunity. This is you stepping into a position of authority in your work life, in your home life. This is you being able to provide not only for yourself, but for those around you. And so this is one of the very, very beneficial cards, right? This is not quite as good as the 10 of Pentacles would be for this. It's definitely not as good as the King would be for this, but it is definitely not a bad card, right? This is you reinvesting appropriately the gains that you have received from your job. Now, clarifying that with some steps that can be taken, you have the 8 of Pentacles, which is the card immediately preceding this one, which means that there's probably some business to finish tying up. This is the card that leads into the 9, and this is what you are being told to do. And so this 9 is either currently in your life. This is the Divine Feminine card, and these Divine Feminine cards are the current situation unfolding in your life. The masculine cards are the steps that can be taken. And so this is telling you to wrap up what you're doing, right? When this is standing upright, this is a hard work and diligence card. This is a continue on the path. You are on the right path. This is making or coming to the realization that you can make that choice, that investment. Not making the choice, understanding that it's there, realizing that there is a new opportunity. This eight is a reiteration of the ace on a higher level. And when it is standing upright, he has 6 pentacles nailed to the post. Those are the things that he is selling, right? That is what he has been working on, is learning how to make these pentacles. He has learned how to do it, and now he is selling his pentacles. He has put his work up for display. He's got one down here that he is still working, or yet to be worked on, and one that he is currently working on. Hard work and diligence. This is a card of keep your head down, keep grinding, everything is going correctly. You've got it in the reverse. Now, you have this choice being made about, or being presented, right? You have this choice of a higher path available to you. This is you putting an end to the current path so that you can do so, right? Getting done with what you are doing so that you can do the things that you're meant to do. Stepping into the higher path. There is no responsibility staying in the same spot. There is higher levels that can be attained, and this is telling you, finish what you're doing, right? Don't just stop. There is still a little bit left to do before the realization of the path and the presentation of the choice, but it is not much, right? You are at the very end of whatever the cycle is, and there is a new cycle approaching that you are going to have to make a choice about. Now, next we're going to move to the sacral. The sacral is the area of physical generation. This is what you want to create in your life. It can be children because it is tied to lust and chastity, giving away a little bit too much physical affection, not receiving enough physical affection. Neither one is particularly good in and of itself. What you have here is a meditative state, right? This is due consideration. Now, this is an understanding card. It is a 4. 4 of swords. Swords is soul, thought, air, intellect, and communication. And so this can be related to a thought or a communication. This can be, it's thoughts or communications almost exclusively. There is a lot of movement in the air, a lot of adaptability in the air, but this isn't really even talking about that. What we see is there are 3 swords on the wall. Those are the past things that he has done. He is on the path of swords. He is becoming a master of swords, and that does involve combat. Swords can indicate conflict as well, right? That is one that I need to start working in there. I got to make a note because swords can represent a conflict, and this can be a conflict, but if it is, it's not an aggressive one, right? The 5 would be a more aggressive card. He is laying in a meditative state, contemplating his past battles with his sword of preparation underneath him. This is his thoughts and things, and he is getting it behind him so that he can master the other ones. He has already defeated these enemies. He is well on the way, right? He has learned the lessons, and now he is understanding it. That is the path of progress, and once you understand, then you get to rise to meet challenges. This is not yet rising to meet the challenge. This is past the point of learning. Now, this does not have to be sexual. It can be just your business, right? If you want a business, you envision it with your third eye, you invest in it with your energy and your heart, and then you invest with it physically with your sacral. This is positive steps that you are taking towards your manifestation. This is the manifestation trio. And so, this can be just you having a job, right? A brand new understanding about a new position, possibly. But it can also be relationships, and it may even be because of this card here. This is the Lovers. This is the marriage card in the tarot. So if you're single, there may be something about that. Now, this is an understanding card in your current situation, indicating that you need to have understanding around something. This understanding can be about a thought, an intellect, or a communication, or a conflict. This is the Lovers. This is the steps that you can take. This is a divine partnership. It does not necessarily have to indicate marriage. It can indicate your business partnerships, your friendships on a divine level, right? The people who are appropriate for you to help you master the next level. Friendships do that as well as sexual relationships. If you are choosing the correct friends, which you should be putting energy into, right? Surround yourself with what you want to be, not what you don't want to be. The people who surround you are who you become. You will become reflections of what you surround yourself with. So ensure that you are surrounding yourself with appropriate people. This is a divine partnership, and again, it does not necessarily have to be sexual, but if you are looking for that, this absolutely can indicate that. But it is most likely just a partnership, right? You are moving into a new position, a new role of responsibility in the mortal coil, and this is probably someone who is going to help you to achieve that. Now, it can be a sexual partnership. It does not have to be. Next, we're going to move to the solar plexus, and that is quite literally where your food changes into fuel. It is tied to the stomach. It governs gluttony and temperance. So, are you over-consuming the things of the mortal coil? Are you under-consuming the things of the mortal coil? Neither one are intrinsically good. What you have here today is a 5. This is a conflict. Right now, this area right here, the solar plexus, is what really fuels everything else. You make consumption with your throat, but it gets transferred into fuel here. This fuel fuels your day-to-day life. It fuels your hopes, dreams, and aspirations. It fuels your manifestation efforts. It fuels your energetic investments. It fuels your communication. This is a very vital key. This right-hand path is where you get the energy to invest. And so this is, in your current situation of conflict, you have over here that there is an understanding that needs to be stricken, possibly with a partnership. And so this can be a conflict of competing for the promotion, right? That is absolutely can be here. This is mutual combat. This is not someone attacking other people unprovoked. This is 5 people beating each other with sticks quite gleefully. They are quite happy to do what they are doing. They are not under duress, right? They are simply out there competing. Now, wands are about change, and so this is wands are spirit, fire, life, light, logos, change, and intuition, because the intuition is spirit talking to you. And so this can indicate that there is a conflict around some change in your life. You do have indications that change is coming in your life. You have this thing to wrap up, and then you have a choice to make. This can be that presenting itself. This is a challenge, and challenges are not necessarily overbearing. Some of the challenges are light, right? There is a challenge in assuming a new role of responsibility. There's a challenge in wanting to assume that, right? You can be quite comfortable in doing the same thing that you have been doing, and stepping out into a new way is a little bit outside of the comfort zone, a little bit outside of what you are used to, and so it can be a bit of a challenge. This is challenge around a change. It can be challenge around an intuitive leap, but being in the base, right, not associated with the thoughts that much. No swords being the clarifier. This is an emotion card. This is probably you being emotional about the change, right? It can be regretful whenever you are moving into a new position. If you are comfortable in your old one with your old co-workers, if you're stepping into a position of authority, then them old co-workers are not going to view you in quite the same way. There will be a level of separation between you by necessity if you are in a position of authority. Being comfortable with that is a stretch, and it appears that that may be what the problem is here. Now, clarifying that with some steps that can be taken is a little bit less understanding about an emotional situation. Cups are about emotions. It is body-spirit, whereas pentacles are body-body. This is dealing with the spiritual side of things, but it is also dealing with emotions, mainly with emotions. It is familial connections. It is spousal connections. It is your co-workers and your friends, but it is not the people. It is the emotions behind it. It is the emotional attachments that you form and the emotions that you have. Now, you are facing a challenge, and this is telling you that there is a little bit less understanding that needs to happen. Queens are about understanding. It is a nurturing energy. This is the divine feminine in maturity about emotions, right? There's other cards that represent the not being emotionally mature. The Empress, for instance, is the divine feminine in its immaturity, right? A teenage girl, whereas the Emperor is the immaturity of the divine masculine. This is the maturity of the divine feminine. Appropriate emotions in the appropriate way in a nurturative manner, not aggressive. This is a little bit more aggressive, but not quite as aggressive as a king would be. This is have a little less understanding, right? Now, that's one of those things we keep getting that here, right, in this particular spot. Over the course of the last couple of days, there has been a lot of don't have understanding energy. And I've described it before, and I'm going to do it again, right? This is if someone is having an emotion behind something that is factually true, right? You perform something that hurts someone's feelings, then you have to have understanding about that, right? You hurt their feelings. Now, that may have been a necessity. There may have been very good reasons why you did it, but you still hurt their feelings and you need to apologize and make amends for that, right? There may be justifications, but apologies are not the time for justifications. But if, however, somebody's relayed something about you that is incorrect, and that's hurt somebody's feelings, you have no responsibility to understand that, right? That is you, in a nurturative way, not taking responsibility for something that is not yours, right? That is the energy here. That is not the only example, but it is the most readily understandable example. If someone is misunderstanding you and that is leading to them having bad emotions, and that conflict is not yours, right? That is not yours to resolve. You do not need to have understanding about it. If you are responsible for it, then you do. If it is a situation that you're not involved in, then have understanding. Default on having understanding, right? Unless it is a situation where it is a misrepresentation. And so this is very well can be that. It is on the right-hand side. This is the area of communication up here, so they are linked. There is something about this divine union here, right? It appears to have something to do with work. It appears that this is still to come, so this emotional understanding might be tied to this. Not having emotional understanding can lead to a lot of beneficial things. Next, we're going to move to the area of the heart, and the heart is what you truly want to manifest in your life. This is what will make you happier than anything else. This is where true fulfillment will come in. This is where your manifestation efforts get put into the world, right? The as below and the as above come into accordance, go out into the divine, and that is where manifestation comes from. This is the area that deals with greed and charity. Greed is associated with the mortal coil. It is loving things just a little bit too much. Charity is associated with the upper coil. It is loving things a little bit too little. You are supposed to have things, but not all of the things. You are supposed to give things away, but not all of the things. Sorry, hold on. Got a little tickle there. And neither greed or charity are intrinsically good in and of themselves. You can give away too much. What you have here is a little bit of an understanding about change. And now, wands again are about change, and what you see is he is standing, not moving. He is understanding, contemplating the end of his wand. He is looking and understanding the change that is happening. Pages are about understanding. It is the step before the queen. And so in your current situation, what this is that you need to have some understanding about some change. You have change and conflict here, and you have a new path that you have to make a choice about. You are being presented with a lot of understanding, right? You have an understanding here, and you have an understanding here. You got a good bit of choices, too. Now, clarifying that page of wands with some steps that can be taken is justice in the reverse. Now, much like this understanding in the reverse, this is one of those that's a little bit hard to get, but it is one of those that keeps popping up, so apparently it is an issue. In order to reach the understanding that you need to have about this change in order to make your manifestations happen, you're going to have to get a little unbalanced. This is justice. Justice is about the fair and equitable distribution of the law. No one is above the law. No one gets special consideration in the law. Everybody is exactly equal to the law. He is holding the scales of balance there to show that everyone is equal to in the law. Now, he is the representative of the thoughts. He has a sword right here. It's a little bit hard to make out. He is between the pillars. That is signifying balance, right? This is fair and equitable distribution of the law. This is making sure everybody gets their just desserts. And you've got it in the reverse. And so in order to reach that understanding that you need to have, then you have to unbalance a little bit. You have to take into consideration yourself a little bit more than other people. That is not a normal practice that I recommend, but there are definitely times that it needs to happen. And if, for instance, you're up for a promotion and there is a little bit of conflict around an emotional situation that other people are up for the same emotion, In order to reach the understanding for you here, you're going to have to stand up for yourself and fight for the job, right? Not say, well, it's fine if they take it, right? That job is yours. You have earned it. Now, that does not mean that you're going to get it. That it does mean that you are up for it, and that if you are up for it, then you have at least earned the opportunity to be up for it. And so it is perfectly fine to not have understanding around somebody else's emotions, since you need the job too, right? And so that wouldn't be fair and equitable, right? That would be me getting my just reserves. And so that can be this energy. That is not the only example of the energy, but that is a good one for this particular situation. It does appear that there is something in your life that is coming new, that you are going to have to make some decisions about, and maybe this understanding. Now, this is not having understandings about the feeling. This is having understandings about the change. And there is conflict around change, and it does appear that there is change happening in your life. Next, we're going to go to the throat. The throat is the area of communication. It deals with pride and humility. So taking a little bit too much credit for your work, giving away a little bit too much credit for your work, neither one are intrinsically good. You should take pride in a job well done, but that does not make you better than anyone. And you're being presented with a choice about change. Now, 2s are choices, right? Just like a 9 on a lower level. This is a communication area, so there may be a communication about change. There is a choice. You're not quite at the choice yet, or you're right on the verge of the choice. It is showing up as a card for you, so it is a choice, but it is in the reverse, so it is probably not one that you are actively making at the moment. It may be that it is going to present itself on the other side of this challenge. That is a possibility. Even on the other side of the understanding. Again, a possibility. When it is standing tall, you are being presented with a choice to make right now. It is go out and make this choice. When it is in the reverse, it is let the choice come to you, and then you can make the choice. This is a choice about change. Now, this is in the area of communication, so it can be related to a communication from someone else and bringing you news, and therefore you have to wait on that in order to be able to make the choice. But it appears that you are waiting on something different. This is the strength card, and you have this in the upright, which means that you need to stand in your strength, right? She has infinity on her head, all of the infinite options. She has knowledge arrayed around her. That is what those rays mean, especially with the golden background. And then this lion right here, she's not prying his mouth open. She is holding it closed. She is preventing the lion from taking inappropriate action. This is being strong in your ability to do something along those lines. This is a 7 card, right? No, this is an 8 card. And so 8s are about being presented with a new thing. Now this is being presented with this second path, which is the path of swords, thoughts, and things of that nature. The path of swords, so maybe it is related to some conflict. Maybe it's related to an idea. Maybe it's related to a communication. But this is not a direct swords card. Now this is the equivalent of the 9 of swords, or I keep saying equivalent. It is not equivalent. It is the clarifier on the path of progression for the 9 of swords. And so this is a new path, or probably related to an idea, not necessarily. Maybe related to communication. It is in the communication spot. This is going to require you to have strength. Now, almost never is having strength in a situation you being overbearing, being out of balance with the masculine, right? Being aggressive. It is you standing in your morals. It is you standing where you need to stand so that you can sleep at night. I mean, that's what this is. This is you standing up for yourself. If you were up for a promotion and someone else is wanting the same promotion, this is that. Now, this is mutual combat. This is combat as well, kind of. And so there may be some strength that you need to display in order for this choice to be presented to you. Next, we're going to go to the third eye, and the third eye is what you want in your life. This is what you are trying to manifest, even if you do not realize it, or if you are not having manifestation practices. You are manifesting your life, whether you realize that or not. This is the area that governs sloth and diligence. So are you working toward your goals, or are you just expecting them to show up with no help? That is not going to happen. There is nothing that comes from nothing, and if you want things, then you're going to have to work for them. And that does include manifestation. You envision things here. This is your hopes, dreams, and aspirations, what you want in your life. So if you have a business you want to create, this is where you see it. This is where you take physical steps to manifest it, and this is where you energetically invest in it. Neither sloth nor diligence are good in and of themselves. You are meant to have recreation time, but it is not meant to be all of the time, and you are meant to work hard, but not all of the time. There is a division there. There is an 8-hour division, right? 8 hours of work, 8 hours of play, 8 hours of rest. Body, mind, soul. Or body, mind, spirit. And what you are being presented with is a choice about a path. This is the path of the body, right? This is the path of the pentacles. This choice and this choice are probably the same choice. This is on the higher level. This is on the lower level, but one of them had to show up high and one of them had to show up low. And since this is dealing directly with your base, the higher path presented in your base. Both of these are probably the same choice. This is probably something about your current work situation. Again, you are being presented with a choice about what you do for a living. Now, this might be a choice about the home that you live in. This might be a choice about the food that you eat, but it is most likely the choice about the job that you do. This 8 of Pentacles in reverse, finish up the work that you are doing, make a choice about a new path. Right? I'm currently working on that too, if you didn't see my video yesterday. Now, clarifying with some steps that can be taken is finish up the yellow path. Right? Six of Swords. Again, swords are thought, communication, air, soul. And so this can indicate any of those things. But what it is showing, right? What is visible? This guy is pulling this woman and the child across the sea to a new land with the baggage of the past battles. Now, this isn't necessarily regretful. This is going to a new place, new opportunities, new expansion, going somewheres where you'll be appreciated. This is a 6. This is the nurture energy right before the harvest. This can indicate that there is something wrapping up. And so, you have this in the reverse, so this is not you going to a new place, right? This would be going to a new place, but maybe it's a new experience. That's entirely possible. This is you actively enacting the understanding, right? This is, or not understanding, this is overcoming and growth. And so this is nurturing energy, but a little bit less. This is nurturing change in your life. This is a brand new opportunity presenting itself to you. This is an opportunity that you may already know about and you're not taking advantage of. I wonder if we've seen that somewhere. And so it does appear with these 2 cards together, right? That this and this in the base, they appear to be telling you the same story in a slightly different way. This is what is currently unfolding, right? You are being presented with a choice, but you have to finish up what you are doing. This is what you are trying to bring about. You are being presented with a choice that leads to new things, but not in an overt way. And so, again, it is giving me the energy that there is something to wrap up. You are not quite done, but you're almost there. Sorry. Next, we're going to move to the crown, and the crown is the area of responsibility. This is what you feel responsible for, what the divine tells you. You receive a message, it filters out to all the rest of the slots, but this is the area that you feel responsible for. This deals with hope and despair. So if you are hoping when all hope seems lost, finding that alchemical gold, this is the area that needs the balance. If everything is going terrible and yet, or everything is going great and yet you are having an absolute terrible day, you're choosing to be depressed, this is the area that needs balance. And neither one of those are particularly good. Hoping without hope is not necessarily a good thing. It can prevent you from finding a way around a situation. You are being presented with the Fool in reverse. Now, the Fool is the key to the entire tarot. This guy right here is the guy that is walking all of the paths that I talk about. Right? The path 1 through 7 is the first path. 8 through 14 is the second path. This is the guy that is tied to all of them. This is also the guy that is tied to 15 through 21. Right? All the paths are this guy. He is out there doing his thing, wandering, exploring, being the fool, and that is not foolish. He is fully prepared for the battle ahead, or the journey ahead. He has his provisions on the stick of change. He has a dog at his feet to help him see the dangers ahead. He is near the edge of a cliff. He is pushing himself to the edge of the comfort zone, but he is not trying to walk off of the cliff. He is just getting close. The dog's a little bit nervous, but he has no reason to be. He has the sun of provision behind him. This is stepping out into the world and claiming your space, right? This is stepping into your authority. This is rising to meet the challenges of life. That's what the fool does. The fool walks optimistically into the future. He is looking for the new experiences. He is doing the new things. And this is what you feel responsible for. You are being told. In the reverse, this is you not quite ready for that. We have a clarifier here that kind of expands upon that. This is you are not quite ready for the exploration. You're not quite ready to step into the new path. There is something that you have to tie up. In order to turn this around, right, you have to do what is on the other card. And so this is you being presented with the opportunity to do kind of whatever you want. But in order to do so, you got to finish up where you're at. And that's going to bring us to the Eight of Cups. This is the clarifier from the divine for you, right? Not the direct message from the divine, but how you interpret it. And the Eight of Cups is about letting go of what doesn't serve you. This is the presentation of a new path. Yes, it is an eight. That is what they are about. Cups are about emotions, right? There can be an emotional situation related to things. But this is letting go of the things that are no longer serving you. All of these emotions that he is leaving behind do not serve his higher purpose. And so he is leaving them behind to wander up the mountain and become the hermit. And sometimes that is necessary, right? You have to remove yourself from a situation in order to fully understand it sometimes. This guy is walking away from everything that he knows. He is walking away from the emotional attachments that are holding him back from realizing his full potential. And this is your clarifier for the fool, right? This indicates that there is probably some emotional connection that is holding you back from realizing your full potential. Now, what that is, I don't know, but there is definitely a conflict around an emotion over here. There is a change in situation that is coming through the entire reading. If you decide that you are worth it, if you decide that I am worth this opportunity is not only going to present itself to you, but you will be able to take advantage of it. Next up, we're going to go to the divine, and the divine is where the divine talks to you. It is not colored by any of the virtues and vices. The divine has the virtues and vices in perfect balance. You are being presented with a new opportunity. I can't make it up. Like, this is literally like you have a choice about a new opportunity that is about to unfold in your life. You have a choice about change that is about to unfold in your life. You have a choice about a brand new opportunity about to unfold in your life. Something's happening here, right? There is definitely like the spirit of you walking away from this emotional attachments that are holding you back. This is your presentation of the path that you want, right? This is the path of provision from the divine. It is the first path, but we've already got the presentation of the higher path is already here. This is telling you that divine providence is available to you if you take advantage in the correct ways. If you are energetically aligning yourself, if your motivations are in accordance with the 8 laws of creation, if you are taking positive steps towards your manifestation, you've got an opportunity here. There is something unfolding in your life that is allowing you to have a greater opportunity if you want it. You have to make a decision about it. Now, this is you being presented with the path. This is, oh, look. There's a path right here. Do I continue on the one that I'm on, or do I finish it up and move on to a new path? Do I take the new path? You might want to take the new path. And that is being clarified by actions that can be taken by most of the good things in the world, right? This is the Sun card. Now, that you got it in reverse, so bear that in mind. But this is the 19, and the 19 is almost to the completion, right? You have just 2 steps left. There is judgment. which is not a bad card. And then you have the World, which is quite literally the best card in the deck, right? It is the counterpoint to the Fool. The Fool is going out with nothing, and he comes back with the World. This is a very positive card. However, this is the last steps right before you get to the harvest. Now, a 19 is going to be a change and a challenge card. You have challenge right here. There was another challenge, right? Strength was a challenge. And so there is something challenging in your life. Right? This is a challenge. 19 is going to be the third path, so it is a challenge around an emotional situation. But the Sun indicates victory when it is in the obverse. When it is in the reverse, this can indicate that maybe the good things aren't coming. Now, in consideration of what we've already got, I'm not going to say that, but this indicates that the steps that you can take are, well, I don't even know. Like, let's look at them in consideration together. All right, so considering these two cards with everything else that's on the table, right? There is a presentation of an opportunity. We have that reiterated several times. There is some kind of a change. There is an emotional detachment that you're going to have. This is you being presented with that. This is divine providence handing you an opportunity. All you have to do is realize it and then make a choice about it. This is a challenge that is unfolding, but it is a beneficial challenge. It is going to lead to your greatness, right? Since it is in the reverse, this is not you actively rising to meet a challenge, but rather letting the challenge come to you. That is what the divine is telling you, right? It is an emotional situation. You have an emotional nurturing card. You have emotional decision card, right? There is walking away from the things that are holding you back. That's kind of this energy as well. Now, this is a challenge around an emotional situation, and it is not a direct, like the Eight of Cups is a direct leave things that are not serving you behind, right? This isn't quite that direct. This is, the positive is that things that you go forward and do. And so the energy that I'm really getting off of this is more of the let it come to you energy, right? We have that, finish up your current work, leave behind the things that are not serving you. That is a realization that you have to make. And so overall, the message is that you are being presented with a brand new opportunity. And in order to receive that opportunity, it is going to require you allowing the challenge to come to you and realizing that this emotional challenge is going to be beneficial in the end. And it does appear that the emotional problem, right, this isn't necessarily a relationship, right? You have the Lovers, that's very positive for a relationship energy. And so it appears that this is a workplace competition and the emotions attached are to that, right? It is not my dog's about to die. It's not I'm getting a divorce. This is I may have to leave behind the coworkers that I've been working with for 15 years and step into the foreman. And everybody looks at you a little bit different. That's an emotional challenge, right? You are no longer just a coworker. Now you're the boss. That can present an emotional challenge. This is not you running out to meet that challenge sword raised high. All of your meet the challenges are kind of in reverse, except for the one that is leave behind the things that are not going to serve you, which is definitely pointing towards that. And so overarching this message is that you are being presented with a brand new opportunity, and it's going to be beneficial. But you're going to have to get over your own emotional limitations in order to fully realize it. That's going to bring us to the end of the reading, and hopefully I brought a little bit of enlightenment and not too much confusion. If you like what I'm doing over here, let me know down below. Give me a like, a share, a follow, throw me a comment. If you agree or disagree with anything that was stated, put it in the box down below, and if it remains respectful, it gets to remain up. If you really like what I'm doing over here, consider, hit me with that super thanks. Consider joining for a membership or picking up a copy of my book where I teach you to do magic responsibly. To the crew, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single minute that you are here with me, and I am praying for you every single day. Until next time, I love you. God loves you. You are perfect, whole, and complete just the way that you are. And this has been Pitt State. Peace. I hear you, Lord.